Om Namo Loe Sarvatrika Bharti Aryantanam. Om Namo Loe Sarvatrika Bharti Siddhanam. Om Namo Loe Sarvatrika Bharti Ayaryanam. Om Namo Loe Sarvatrika Bharti Uvajjayanam. Om Namo Loe Sarvatrika Bharti Saunam. Omkaram Bindu Sanyuktam Nityam Dhayanti Yoginam Kamadam Moksadam Chaiva Omkaraya Namo Namah. नमः समयसाराय स्वानुभूत्या चकासते चित्स्वभावाय भावाय सर्वभावान्तरच्छिदे अज्ञानतिमिरन्दानं ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः तीर्थङ्करो जगन्नाथो ओङ्कारनादजिननो जयवन्तवर्तो जिनना समो शरण सौ जयवंत वर्तो ने तीर्थचार जगमा जयवंत वर्तो नमो ए तीर्थनायक ने नमो ओंकार नादने ओंकार संगरुतेने नमो श्री श्री कुंद कुंदने ओ उपकार जिनवरनो कुंदनो ध्वनि दिव्यनो जीन कुंद ध्वनियाप्य अहो ते गुरु काननो अहो भगवती मातनो ध्रुव अचल ने अनुपम गति पामेल सर्वे सिद्धने वंदे कहो सुत केवली भाषित आसमय प्राभृत अरे ओ एक शुद्ध सदा अरूपी ज्ञान दर्शनमय घरे कहीं अन्य ते मारू जरी परमाणु मात्र નથી અરે જમ નેત્ર તેમજ જ્ઞાન નથી કારક નથી વેદ કરે જાણે જ કર્મોદય નિરજરા બંધ તેમજ મોક્ષને ઓમ નમઃ સિદ્ધેભ્યો ઓમ નમઃ સિદ્ધેભ્યો Om Sri Sudatmane Namaha. Jai Jinendra. Today is November 14, 2018, Wednesday, and we are continuing our class on a Samaysar. We are on a 14th stanza. We have started 14th stanza. We have given introduction. Then we have gone further detail into it. As we have said before, number 14, number 15, and number 16, those three stanzas are kind of related to each other, because how to obtain it's a self-realization, how to obtain samyak darshan. So when we say samyak darshan, we always use three words: samyak darshan, samyak gnan, samyak charitra. Right faith, right knowledge, right conduct. And combination of right knowledge, right faith, right conduct becomes moksha marg, means path to the salvation. And that's the very first stanza of Tattvat Sutra, written by Acharya Umaswati ji close to 2000 years back. And that Tattvat Sutra is been accepted by every sub-denomination of Jainism. So the very first stanza coming, Samyak Darshan Gnan Charitrani Hi Mokshmargaha. Right faith, right knowledge, right conduct, the unity of all the three is a path to the salvation. So from the Mokshmarg, the path to the salvation, in this 14th stanza, we are looking from the right faith perspective. In 15th stanza, we are going to looking at that same thing from right knowledge perspective. And 16th stanza tells you right faith, right knowledge, and right conduct perspective. So that's a 14, 15, 16th stanza. And if you remember, we have said before that first 16th stanza of Samaysar gives the essence of the Samaysar, that what Acharya Bhagwan is going to say in the whole 415 stanza. So first 16 stanza, if we understand properly, that means you are having a easy ride going through all the way up to 415 stanza. So this is what, actually, if you just look at Samaysar, it's divided into several sections. The first one in the fifth stanza, it says, Acharya Kunkun Swami says that, listen, I'm going to tell you Samaysar, which is Ekatva Vibhakta. If it is Ekatva, means it has a unity with its own attributes and modes, etc. And Vibhakta means it is entirely separate from alien belongings. So that's a whole essence of Samaysar, is to know the soul from the unity perspective, means soul is a one substance, attributes are infinite in number, and modes from time infinite, they are there and continue for time infinite in the future. There is not going to be any end to it. And so unity of the soul substance, infinite attribute and infinite modes, is called Ekatva, means unity. And Vibhakta means me as a soul substance is entirely separate from alien belongings. And what is that alien belongings? Naturally, that it doesn't come in that stanza, but as this stanza progresses, as the Samaysar progresses, Acharya Bhagavan tells us what that alien belonging means. Par Padarth means what? Gurudev Kanji Swami made it really simple, that somebody came and says, Gurudev, you are giving lecture and you keep on talking about soul, 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 soul all the time, and we have no concept what you are talking. Is there any shortcut? And Gurudev said, yes, sit down over here. I'll tell you what that shortcut is. Yes, please tell us right away. So Gurudev says, Swama vas parthikas etlu karto bas. 3 sentences. There's a whole philosophy is involved in that one. Swamavas means get engrossed within the self. Parthikas means get out of the alien belonging. That's all you do, and that's the essence of Jainism. This is your kind of your elevator speech. Somebody tells you in the elevator, somebody tells you, in short, tell me what is Jainism. Swamavas parthikas etlu karto bas. So that comes in the 5th stanza. And then Acharya Bhagavan goes further, and up to 16th stanza, he gives somewhat more detailed about all these episodes. And thereafter, the further expansion, of course, it goes up to 38th stanza. So if you understand 5th stanza, if you understand up to 16th stanza, and then you go up to 38th stanza, means everything else is further expansion of all those things. The reason we are going slow also, because these are the very basic principles, and Gurudev very smartly throws the other principles here and there in different way, and he tries to tell us that not only you will be knowing up to 16 stanza, but you will be knowing the philosophy of Kund Kund, what he wants everybody to understand. So those are the things we are on. We have done the introductory thing on the 16th stanza. The pure point of view will direct your faith to the eternal soul substance. Pure point of view, Suddha Nishya, Suddha Nai, means I have that modification, I have that mode within me, which is a pure mode, means directing attention to the eternal soul substance. Then my faith becomes stronger. That's what it tries to say. Now he's going to say, now Kunkun Acharya says, I'm going to tell you how to bring that faith to the eternal soul substance. And that's where it starts. So having said that, I'm going to bring the slides and then we'll start from wherever we are left out before. Okay, so beware sorry. We'll start a little bit here and then go further thereafter. Okay, so eternal soul substance is that Acharya Bhagwan says that eternal soul substance is, and he's throwing those 5 principles to us, that eternal soul substance is unbonded and untouched, means abadha sprasta. Abadha sprasta has 2 words, abadha asprasta. So it means unbonded and untouched. And first, Acharya Bhagwan is going to give us the example of this sentence, and then he's going to give the parmarth, means the ultimate truth from this example. Same thing will be, second thing is called unique, or it's called ananya. Anya means separate. Ananya means undivided, unique. Again, there will be the example will be there, and thereafter will be the ultimate reality will be explained. Then third one is called stable, means it's not unstable, it's stable, means niyat. Fourth one is common, without any differences, means avishesh. And fifth one is unconnected, uncombined, that means asanyukta. So what it says in the stanza, abadha spasta ananyane niyata dekhe atmane avishesa anasanyuktatene suddha naitu janaje. So these 5 principles that the crux of this stanza is these 5 principles that we'll have to go through it. We have okay. So now we had a good discussion last week. Again, to recapitulate quickly, that the abadha spasta means more from the substance perspective. Means this is, we are talking here the difference occurring from the substance perspective. So the word substance is important, substance perspective. Then over here, it is coming from modal perspective, but modes are 2 types of modes are there, shape modes and attributive modes. Paryay mode can be mainly divided into 2 forms, the area perspective mode and attributive perspective mode. So there are 2 main divisions in the modes. Or other way of looking at it, that this mode means it's coming from the substance, and this mode coming from the attribute. Dravya paryay and gun paryay. We'll be talking more about it slowly, but this is just a introduction coming here. Then next one comes divisional aspect of attribute, gun apeksha. So now we are talking only over here we talk substance perspective. Over these 2 things we are talking for modal perspective, and then there is a attribute perspective, and then there is a deluding mode perspective. So 5 things Acharya Bhagwan is making us and telling us that I would like you to make sure that the soul comes out of these 5 associations. So this is from a dravya perspective. This is from, because this is a shape modification, means area perspective, means it's a kshetra, means area. This is the attribute perspective modes, means it's a kal, means time. This is the bhav, means a gun, means attributes are called bhav. And deluding modes gives us transmigration, so it's a bhav. So dravya, kshetra, kal, bhav, bhav perspective. So these are the things, Guru Dev Sri has given pravachans on Samaysar 19 times. And when he came to the 19th times, that's on the pinnacle of the spirituality. And at that time, he realized that the audience, the listeners, they are already prepared to accept the philosophy in great detail. So this is what we are looking from. We are taking the reference of lecture from 19th time. So in 19th time lectures, Gurudev doesn't say that this is from Dravya Kshetra Kal Bhav perspective or whatever. That's been taught long back before. So we have to take the references on the same thing from different series of lectures that he has given, and this is a way we are learning over here. Yes.
Can you look at this from can you say that first part is the Dravyata Gun of Atma, and then the second could, or the Kal Arth perspective could be the Vastutva Gun, and then I know these are different things, but can you look at it from that perspective?
Okay. You can see Dravyatva Gun. What's the nature of Dravyatva Gun? Let's say, means substancehood attribute. It's a common attribute. Common attribute means it is present in all 6 universal substances. And Dravyatva means Dravavu. I'm just trying Gujarati. Dravyatva means Dravavu. Dravavu means Parinamvu. Means every substance at a given moment keeps on having modification. That means that's the nature of the Dravyatva Gun. Substancehood attribute means they are making sure that a given substance has a mode at a given moment. There is not a single substance in the universe that has no mode at a given time.
That's exactly what that box is then, right?
I'm sorry?
That's exactly what that box on the left is.
No. Yes and no, because what it's talking about, this substance, like soul substance, is separate from the matter substance. Soul substance is separate from medium of motion. Soul is separate from medium of rest and space and time, etc. So now on the top, it's taking the substance perspective, means all 6 substances of the universe. That point is been stressed. Then second one will come modal perspective. So when I say mode, means mainly the substance. Substance, remember, each and every substance is inert. So we are not talking that soul is separate from matter, but soul's mode is separate from matter's mode. That's what it means, I'm separate from this one. So this one is a matter. Matter has a mode. The matter's mode in this situation is in the form of a phone right now.
My question specifically is, this slide is meant to indicate that every, and I don't think, you can probably take this to any dravya, not just soul, but this is to say that every karya in an atma has its own dravya, kshetra, kal, bhav, and bhav.
Yes.
This is how we classify every karya within, or every, I guess, pariyai in an atma. Now my question is, if we are using these 5 criteria to identify and classify every potential karya in an atma, how is that different from saying that every potential karya in an atma has its own dravyatva gun, its own vastutva gun, its own pramayatva gun, etc.? And how is that different from this classification?
Well, Gurudev has not done classification in that way. Number one, I have talked to Hemant Bhai and he has not used that way, but I will throw the question to Hemant Bhai and I'll try to say, but that's because Dravyatva Gun is a separate entity that we are not using. Over here, we are using the substance only. Dravyatva Gun means a mode of a given substance, means a substance will have a mode at any given time. That's a Dravyatva Gun. That's it. So Dravyatva Gun ends there. When over here we are talking that we are talking 2 substances separate, then we are talking modes are separate from each other. Then we are saying gun is separate from each other.
I get that, but I guess my question, I'll try to, one more time, then we can move on. I don't want to waste time on this.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that important. Because there's a dravyatva gun, that's why there's a dravyapeksha. Because there's a vastutva gun, or I could be messing up the guns, but because there's a vastutva gun, there's an arth apeksha. Because there's a you know, whatever gun corresponds to.
Yeah. No, I think, but
That's
okay.
what there's a bunch of expectation.
If,
I guess I'm trying to connect the respective guns of any dravya samanya, with each of these 5 criteria that we're using to classify every karya.
yeah. But remember over here that if we see eternal soul substance, we are mainly talking soul substance here. So other things are already, the crux of the discussion is centered at the soul substance. Now, if you want to say, can Dravyatva Gun be over here? Okay, we can stress that one. Can the Vastutva Gun could be here? We can say okay, but then what about the other guys? You know, so that means, you know, see, there's a total different perspective that in this stanza Acharya Bhagwan is using. Now, you are right that anybody can use any perspective as long as it fits to the understanding of the criteria, you know. So that's all it is basically. But again, I'll work on it and I'll let you know next time, you know, okay? All right, okay. So, so we have these 5 things coming. Then comes next one is the same slide. It is gives in the table form, and we already have gone this slide. We have gone this slide. Okay. Now, pure point of view. We also talked about that one also. Pure point of view. That one. These are the things we have already done. So now, same slide coming back again, and Dravya Kshetra Kal Bhav Bhav. Okay. Now, souls in bonded soul in the modal state. Now again, Acharya Bhagwan tells us that, listen, what I'm talking about, the bonded with material karma and touch with physical body and its object, means the 5 things now he's talking over here. If we think these are the eternal soul substance is different from these things, means when we say where is that? Oh, okay, it's coming here. So soul is bonded with material karma. In general, the transmigratory soul is bonded with material karma. And because it's bonded with material karma, so there is an association with the physical body and physical body related objects. Now, physical body is mine, and this shirt right now is physical body related shirt. Last week, it was a half sleeve shirt. Now it became a full sleeve with a hood and everything because there's a cold. So physical body related things like house, family, money, car, business, etc. They are part of the physical body related objects. So they are called touch. They are touching the soul, and material karma is tightly bonded with the soul substance. So soul in the modal state in general, to start with, has this kind of situation, means baddha and spasta. Baddha means bonded and spasta means touch. Then presence of inclination of attachment of ananya. This is called ananya, means presence of inclination of attachment. Third one is manifoldedness. Fourth one is a 6 type of increase and decrease in the modes, divisional aspect of the attribute, and they are the modal state, thereby they are transient in nature. So these are the 6 points. Acharya Bhagwan is going to take it and take us to the detailed explanation for each one. Having given that introduction, now we start with each other. Compared to eternal self, these changes are non-true state. Means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stages are there in the soul. They are present in the soul substance. But when you compare to the eternal, indivisible, unique, undivided soul substance, then this thing becomes secondary, and thereby they have become non-true state. Even though they are occurring within me, they are occurring within my periphery of the soul's action, but still they are becoming secondary and non-true state when I compare to the eternal soul substance. So having said that, now student is asking question here. Student is asking question that, listen, in the soul in the modal state is bonded and touch, means baddha sprasta. Now soul is having different types of realms of existence. Soul can be there in the human form and hellish form and celestial form and subhuman form. So different form is there. So it's called anya places, means different types of realms of existence. Judi judi gati, anya gati. And it's also transient, means their soul, when we look from modal aspect, it's always transient in nature, means anityata is there. And soul is having difference of attributes of present, means infinite attribute residing within me. Those infinite attributes, they are knowledge attribute, faith attribute, conduct attribute, bliss attribute, eternal existence attribute, dynamism property, all those infinite attribute. So far we are learning them in divisional aspect. This is the knowledge attribute, and knowledge attribute is 5 different subgroups, and each one, like the sensory knowledge has 340 subdivisions, and scriptural knowledge has 12 different divisions, and so on and so forth. And so we know them by divisional aspect, but in fact, in reality, they are in the soul in the undivided state, and they are so densely packed, merging with each other, that there is no divisional perspective there. It's always undivided. But to understand for us, we have to go through the divisional aspect, and that's called vishesh. And last thing is connected and combined, means sanyukta. So student is asking that this is the modal state that I am aware of it since time infinite. I'm not aware of any other things. So my question is, student is asking, student is also very learned, and so he said, my question is, these 5 things are modal state. Now then how to experience the eternal soul substance? You are talking modal state over here, and now you are telling me that soul is undivided and its modal state is secondary. How do I go about it? So that's a question that he's asking. And then we have, I think we did we do it or not? But last time Srimadji has written poem also. Yamani yama sanyama apakiyo punityaga biraga athakaliyo vanavasaliyo mukhamona royo drid asana padma lagai diyo. मनपौन निरोध स्वबोध कियो हट जोग प्रयोग सुतार भयो जप भेद जबे तब तो तपे उर्से ही उदासी लही सबसे सब शास्त्रन के नय धारी लिए मत मंडन खंडन भेद लिए वह साधन 12 अनंत कियो तदपि कछु हाथ हजू न पयो. Means Srimadji in a young age, he's a young adult before age of 20. I think this was written around age 16. And he's asking loaded question that I have taken vow for the lifelong vow, means called yam. I have taken shorter vows like niyam, means I have taken longer vow. For example, I'm going to observe celibacy for the life, that's called yam. But as a shorter vows, like on the 4 months of monsoon season, I'm not going to eat the green vegetables. So it's a shorter vows. So it's called niyam. I have observed renunciation and stayed in silence. I just did meditation. I remained in the one corner of the house. I never talked to anybody. And that means my silence of renunciation. I stayed in meditative posture for a long time. I just went on meditating, and my posture is kind of so stable. that it's just like a log of wood sitting there, except the breathing going on. That's what I did long time. I become passionless and indifferent towards worldly objects. I'm not happy with the good thing coming. I'm not unhappy when bad things are coming to me, and I become passionless. My emotions are just subdued as much as possible. I remember scripture by heart. You tell me Samaysar and I can sing 415 stanza by heart. Or I can sing Apurva Avsar, or I can sing Atma Siddhi Sastra 142 stanza, or whatever. So all the scripture I remember by heart. I argued with the other philosophical topic with the intellect, with his intellect to the other people. I performed about infinite time in the past. I had done all these things infinite times in the past, but I did not realize my soul. What's the reason for this? So same thing, student is asking question here, that I do all these things and you are telling me realize the soul. How do I realize the soul? So that's a crux of this stanza over here. First thing, we understand five things. Once we understand five things, then how do I experience eternal soul substance without this modal state? And that is our main question given in this stanza. So, first one ends up knowing the modal aspect of trans. So, Acharya Bhagavan says, okay. So first you understand all these five things in a clearly exactly the nature you understand. So you first one end up knowing modal aspect of transiency. Now I understand more. They are not the eternal nature. That means they are untrue state. That means they are abhuta. Modal state occurs within me. This is a matter substance. This book is a matter. So they have their own modes. I'm not talking about their mode. I'm not talking about his mode. I'm talking about my mode, me as a soul substance. So they are occurring within me. So I have to understand from modal perspective. Then, knowing that one, there is a beyond something more hidden behind. As we talked in 13th stanza, the nine reals. First, we went through extreme detail about nine reals, the nature of the nine reals, exactly what is asra, what is burn, what is samvar, what is nijra, what is a inflow, what's a bondage, what's a stoppage, what's a shading. All those things we understood in detail, and thereafter, Acharya Bhagavan said, now that you know really all these nine reals, nine elements, nine tattva, forget about that thing. Wait a second. I put so much time to understand all these nine tattva and everything, and now you're telling me to forget about it? Yes, because you go beyond. There is somebody, controller sitting beyond those nine tattva, nine elements, and that's the one you have to know it. So over here, same thing. Now there are five things over here that we are just going to modal aspect, we know in detail, and thereafter we give them up and we go to the eternal soul substance. So the knowing this thing the knowing this thing becomes untrue state, means compared to the eternal soul substance, they become untrue nature. One gives up attention towards them and brings the attention to the eternal self, the true state, the bhutarth. This produces experience of the eternal self. So he says, know everything first, then understand the real nature, give up everything, or all those five things, and then you are coming at the door of the experiencing of the eternal soul substance. Giving that kind of introduction, now he says, to experience eternal soul, it means to right faith, one does not need dependency on an alien object, does not need conventional form, does not need inclination of the attachment state. Means to experience the real eternal, to experience the eternal soul substance.
Uncle,
Yes.
this is from Acharya Dev, right?
I'm sorry?
This is from Amritchandra Dev, right?
Amritchandra, yes, yes.
The Uncle, isn't alien object, isn't that also Sadguru?
What's that? I'm sorry?
Alien object. Is that Guru?
He is Acharya. No, I'm not following.
Okay.
Amritchandra Acharya Dev, is it Guru you mean? That's what you mean?
No, my question is, when one does not need to depend on something, you wrote alien object, correct?
Yeah.
Can you put Guru there?
Yeah, oh yes. You put that very loaded question. It's very important. That dependency on alien object means everything. Everything means all the scriptures in front of me, they are alien in nature. All the books, they are alien in. That's okay. I can probably understand. But then Gurudev said, the Dev Shastra Guru, even the Aryan Bhagwan is an alien object for me, because Aryan Bhagwan is a soul, pure soul, but soul. Beyond me, every other soul is a non-soul for me. Beyond me, I am the soul, and for me, you are the alien object. Every other Aryan Bhagwan is alien object. Gurudev is alien object. That's why Gurudev said, if you depend on me, you will never get Samyak Darshan. And so that's what, and the story comes about Gautam Swami, that he had a tremendous affection for Mahavir Swami. And so that was the reason that, excuse me, so many other monks, they will get the Keval Gnan and they go to moksha and everything. And Gautam Swami is not getting Keval Gnan because he had tremendous attachment to his guru, which is Mahavir. So at the time of the night before Diwali, he's been sent out, and then Mahavir went to Nirvana, and Gautam had a tremendous amount of grief, and then he realized that Mahavir wanted me to go out because he wanted to break my attachment towards him. The moment he realized, right away he got Keval Gnan on the same evening of Mahavir going to Nirvana. So yes, everybody will be alien objects for us. So scriptures are alien objects. So do I not read the scriptures? Do I not depend on the scripture? Yes, I read. I understand. But that is my understanding purpose. That reminds me that in the beginning of the Atma Dharma magazine coming out from Songad, it started coming in 1947 or 1946 or something. And if you need, I mean, all those Atma Dharmas are available online also. That in the beginning, on the bottom, there was one sentence coming: one substance cannot do the work of the other substance. Ek dravya bija dravya nu kai kari saktu nathi. It was written on every page. It was written like that. So one smart guy came to Ramji Bhai Vakil. Ramji Bhai was a president of the trust, and said, asked him that Ramji Dada, you are writing that one substance cannot do the function of the other substance. Then why do you sit down at 9 o'clock sharp before 9 o'clock in the Pravachan hall to listen to Gurudev? You are dependent on Gurudev. Remember, see, the questioner has a very loaded question, that if you say that there is no dependency on alien object, why do you sit down here 3 times a day to listen to Gurudev and everything? And for an average layperson, it will be kind of difficult to answer. But Ramji Bhai, he was also a very successful advocate. So he was a lawyer by profession. So he knew exactly how to argue. So he said to this guy that Yes, it's true that one substance cannot do the function of the other substance. That's true. So Gurudev cannot do anything to me. That's true. But one substance cannot do the function of the other substance to make that determination strong in my own mind. That's why I'm sitting down here every day. Not because Gurudev is going to do something to me, but I'm going to change my attitude from within me. So your answer to a question is Amrit Chandracharya Dev is also an alien object? Is Gurudev alien object? Is Mahavir Swami alien object for? Yes. Every other substances in the universe, they are separate from me, they are alien object for me. And that's why Dharmadas Shullak, I don't know, I think 300 years back, he wrote down that I'm the Saptam Dravya, I'm the seventh substance. Wait a second, where did you bring the seventh substance from? Then he said there are six substances in the universe: living, matter, medium motion, medium race, space, and time. Six substances are there, but from me, they all are alien objects. So I am the seventh one. That's what it is. So yes, the answer to your question, you don't need dependency on the alien object. Yes, I learned the scriptural thing from the scriptures, but my learning has a more important than the scripture is having important. That's what I have to clarify in my mind to start with. But they are nimit for me because I am ready. So when I am ready, then my act is getting done. I'm getting knowledge, and for that thing, there is always an instrumental cause present in front of me. And so this book becomes instrumental cause for me. Gurudev becomes instrumental cause for me. Acharya Amrit Chandracharya Dev or Kunkun Acharya Dev or Mahavir or any liberated soul will become instrumental cause for me. So I don't have dependency on the alien. Yes, alien objects can be instrumental cause, but remember instrumental cause definition, that instrumental cause are present during a given act, but cannot do anything to the act. Water is necessary for the fish to swim, but fish is swimming by itself, not because of water. Water simply is a vehicle. Water's presence is important for fish to swim, but water has not done anything. If the same water is making fish to swim, same water makes rock to sink also, because rock has capacity to sink, fish has a capacity to swim. So the alien objects, there's no dependency. Then same thing in alien object or conventional form. Conventional form means two things combined together, we make one. That's what conventional state. So this is my phone. Phone and me are one. So that dependency is also does not need. And then inclusion of attachment means my rag is also not required to get the eternal soul. Now, this rag is important over here. Inclusion of attachment, rag. What does that mean? Means I have a compassionate feeling. I'm doing charity. I'm doing austerity. I'm worshipping. I'm doing Swadhay. I'm doing scriptural study. And those are the things also not going to give me directly to the eternal experience. They can act as an instrumental cause once I am ready from me. So that's the thing. So then one needs to bring faith to the eternal true nature of the self. So then it will give you experiencing of the eternal soul, means right faith, means samyak darshan. To get samyak darshan, one does not need dependency on the alien object, no conventional form, no inclination of attachment, only need to bring his faith to the eternal soul substance. This is from negative perspective, this is from positive perspective, and that's way we know how to get the right faith or samyak darshan. So having said that, so now I don't need dependence on the alien object. So why do I need guru? Why do I need guru? Why do I need to read Samaysar scripture? Why?
Nimitic sambandh.
Nimit, yes, because when I am ready, then they are there. And remember, if we just think this way, dependent on the alien object, the very first stanza of Atma Siddhi, let's recite that one. Je Swarup Samajavina Pamyo Dukha Anant Samajavyute Padanamu Sri Sadguru Bhagavant. Je Swarup Samjavina, without understanding my true nature, Pamyo Dukha Anant, I became very miserable state since time infinite. The one who explained to me the real nature of the soul, the omniscient Lord, the Holy Scripture, and the enlightened monks, I bow down to them. Means, Srimadji says, Kripaludev says, that I bow down to omniscient Lord, Holy Scripture, and the enlightened monks, because they are the reason I got Samyak Darshan. Is it true? I mean, over here, you are just saying the negative points for all these three things, and Srimadji says, I respect them, I bow down to them, because of them, I end up getting Samyak Darshan. You mean, did Kripaludev made mistake in the very first stanza of it, of the Samaysar, on Atma Siddhi? So, the Gujarati version, it says, Je Swarupa Samjayana Pamya Dukhan Samajavyu. Samajavyu means the one who explained to me. Samajavyu. Now, actually, it should be Samjayu, means I understood by my own personal effort. So, actually, crux of the thing was, I understood with my own personal effort, and Dev Satra Guru were the instrumental cause for them. So why will I bow down to them? Or did Kripaludev make mistake in that very first stanza? Well, I mean, here I am questioning the enlightened saint who obtains Samyak Darshan, and I am, who is in a wrong faith state, questioning the authority who has Samyak Darshan. Is it true that he made mistake, or is it true that something is wrong with my understanding? Two questions when they are put it in. He is an enlightened saint. He is not going to make mistake. So, is something wrong with my understanding? 100% something is wrong with my understanding. Why? When Samyak Darshan occurs, when your purity starts, and when you start increasing your purity, when I get the experiencing of the soul substance, then within me there is also a respect attribute. When my purity starts increasing, my respect attribute can also show increasing amount of purity. So, Kripaludev says, I know that I got Samyak Darshan by myself, by my personal effort. But at that time, presence of Nimit, presence of instrumental cause was omniscient Lord. Presence of instrumental cause was Holy Scripture, and also enlightened monks. So, he just shows his utmost respect to those entities. Think about it. Before the GPS, when we used to go out for driving and we got lost somewhere, so we went to the nearest gas station and we asked gas station attendant, hey, where is this address? I'm in neighborhood, but I can't find it. And the guy says, 2 traffic light, and then take a right turn, and the first stop, left turn, and that will be your destination. He says that direction. He gave you the direction. What did you do right away? Right away you said, thank you. You showed your respect to the person who showed you the pathway. So this Dev Satra Guru are the one that shows the pathway to end my transmigration. Will I not say thank you to them? will I not show my respect to them? And that's what Kripalu Dev said in the very first stanza. Samaja vyu te padanamu. He did not say Samaja nyu te padanamu. He did not say that I understood with my own. No, that's an arrogancy. He becomes kind of very modest person, and he just praises his omniscient Lord, Holy Scripture, enlightened monks, and he shows respect to them. So dependency on alien object is there, means when I'm ready. Remember, Mahavir is there all the time. Samaysar is there all the time. Gurudev is there all the time from the literature point of view. And why do I show respect today? Because I am ready right now. When I am ready, then they are present. They are present in the form of instrumental cause. So that's what it is, right? It's a long answer to your short question. But that's a nice digression, but it was very important. Yes, good. All right. Now, let's go to the next one now. So eternal soul substance is, we already have talked about this one, that there are 5 things. Now the first thing comes now. This is the beginning of the 5 things. Unbonded, untouched means Abhaddha Sprashta, means lotus leaf example they are giving us. There's a lotus leaf over here. That lotus leaf being immersed into the water but does not get wet at all. The water over here remains entirely separate. This droplet of water we see separate, and scientists, they found it out that what is happening, that this lotus leaf, there are certain projections are there like this. So lotus leaf, the water is remaining untouched because there are certain projections are there on the water leaf that does not allow water to touch the body of the leaf. So those are these are the projections there, and this is a water droplet, and these projections are even smaller than a water droplet. So water, even though present, does not touch the lotus leaf. So what's the example? What it shows? From outside, it says that the lotus leaf is present in the water, so it's submerged in the water. So it is wet. But when we go closely to that one, and when we try to analyze, that water droplet has never touched the surface of the leaf at all. This is the example, the very first thing it says, that untouched and unbonded, untouched means the water and leaf both are in extreme close proximity, but water has not touched that lotus leaf or not bonded with the lotus leaf at all. So that's the example Acharya Bhagwan gives, and now he says, what's a parmarth? What's the ultimate reality, ultimate truth that we have to learn from here? So point 1 example. Leaf is immersed in the water. It appears that water has completely covered the leaf. Leaf looks wet. In fact, water and leaf are 2 different substances. They both have principal cause, auxiliary cause relationship. From modal point of view, this relationship appears true. So, from modal perspective, from outside, when I'm looking at the lotus leaf, it is wet lotus leaf. So, I'm looking at a modal perspective. But what happens? Lotus leaf has a fur, silky hairs, those projections. So the leaf remains in its own natural state. Silky hair are the one preventing lotus leaf to be touched by the water. Fur does not allow water to be touched by the leaf. So water is over here and leaf is over here. In between there is those fur, silky hair, that they don't let these 2 guys merge with each other. In spite of remaining in close contact with the water, leaf is not wet due to the fur. Fur is the one which prevents leaf to get wet. So, from substantial point of view, in the past slide we saw modal point of view, that from outside when I'm looking at the water, the leaf of the lotus leaf, it is wet from the modal perspective. But now when I'm looking from substantial perspective, water is a separate element and the leaf is a separate element, and they have not touched each other at all. So water and leaf do not have principal cause auxiliary cause relationship also. They entirely two things remain separate. These two, the book and the phone, they are together but they are separate. This phone is a phone, book is a book, and they cannot be touching each other. So leaf is a leaf and water is a water. They don't have even close relationship of principal cause auxiliary cause relationship. Right now there's a darkness in the evening, night time, and the light on the ceiling is helping me. So helping me in the sense that light is remaining as an instrumental cause for me as a principal cause to do the work on computer right now. So the light is a auxiliary cause. I'm the principal cause. So it's a principal cause auxiliary cause relationship is there for this time right now. Once I get out of this room and I forget to put the switch off, then that light will remain on throughout the night. But to whom it's going to be helpful? To nothing. There is nobody in the room. So that light will not be instrumental cause for anything. Remember, we are giving examples, so we don't have to dissect example. Well, you know, because of light, you can see couch and the no. Don't try to dissect the example. Example is always given to drive the principal point. So principal cause auxiliary cause relationship means nimit naimittik sambandh. So light is a nimit right now, and I'm the naimittik, and they both have relationship right now, because that's why I can see what's happening in front of my computer screen, etc., etc. But over here, the water is separate and the leaf is separate. They don't have even principal auxiliary cause relationship. Let's say that in the water, I may have thrown the cloth. Then cloth is wet now. So cloth becoming wet due to water. So there's a principal cause auxiliary cause relationship. But in this situation, there is no such relationship exists, because they are two entirely separate things. This book is separate and this phone is separate. So they are entirely separate things. This is the really good point Acharya Bhagwan gives us. And then now we are just going to get the principle of it. What it says? Karma, bonding, and physical body touching the soul. Principal cause, auxiliary cause relationship. Karma bonded with me. I did good, auspicious thinking right now, so auspicious karma got stuck with me. I got inauspicious thinking right now, and negative, inauspicious karma came and stuck with me. And so karma bonding, and the physical body, because of physical body, I can speak, I can walk, I can move, whatever. So I have relationship with physical body. So physical body is touching me and karma bonded with me. So there is a principal cause, auxiliary cause relationship perceived. I'm dumb in thinking. My knowledge is not that strong. Let's say in cooking, how much do I know it? My knowledge is zero, nothing. So for the cooking thing, I have knowledge obscuring karma operational, and that's why I don't know how to cook. So That's what the principle calls auxiliary cause relationship. That's what we believe. Now, eternal soul substance is full of knowledge and bliss. It is untouched and unbonded. Now we are talking, we are talking from the modal aspect. In the mode, yes, I have the inclination of attachment state, and that's why karma is bonding with me. But eternal soul substance is eternal nature. It's a immutable. It's a non-doer. It's a stable. It doesn't do anything at all. So eternal soul substance has a full of knowledge and bliss. But because it's full of knowledge and bliss, it has no relationship to any other substances. So it's just like that leaf in the water, leaf and water. This guy can be, we can just say it's a leaf, and karma, etc., are water, for example. So they are entirely separate. So eternal soul substance is not touching the karma, or not bonding with karma, not touching the material physical body. Soul touching soul touching and bonding with matter is true from modal point of view. Soul is touching and bonding. That's a modal point of view. But soul has never touched non-living material karma particle. Material particles are of their own, and soul is also of its own. Soul has its own mode. Material karma, they have their own mode. So eternal soul substance has never touched any material karma particles. And the best example we can get is right now around me. The karmic dust is spread densely packed around me. And the moment I do inclination of attachment state, some of the karmic dust particle get converted to deluding karma and get stuck to me. Now, when we talk Siddhashila, Siddhashila is an ultimate resting place for the soul after getting liberation on the top of the universe. Siddha Bhagwan is sitting there. He is a pure soul. He has no inclination of attachment or aversion. All the toxic emotions are removed. He is a pure soul. Each and every mode coming out of the soul, Siddha Bhagwan is a pure knowledge, pure conduct, pure bliss, pure faith, etc., etc., etc. Everything is pure modes. So there is no inclination of attachment at all there. Now, around the Siddha Bhagwan also there are tons of material karma particles surrounding. And Siddha Bhagwan never gets touched by those karma particles. Just like that water, just like that a leaf in the water. The lotus leaf in the water does not get touched by the water. Same way, Siddha Bhagwan sitting and around Siddha Bhagwan, there are tons of karma particles around, but still nothing gets touched to each other. Now, on the other side of the coin, let me ask you a question. Did you ever go to Siddhashila? Did you as a soul ever go to Siddhashila or not? Can somebody answer me?
Nigodjiv.
Yes. So Nigod Jeeves are there. Nigod Jeeves are throughout the universe. And throughout the universe means on the Siddhashila also Nigod Jeev is there. And this Nigod Jeev is occupying same space point as a soul and same space point as a karma particle. And Nigod Jeev keeps on making inclination of attachment and inclination of aversion all the time. So karma particle will get stuck to the Nigod Jeev, but will not stuck to the Siddha Bhagwan. So soul, Siddha Bhagwan's soul has never touched non-living material karma particle. So same way, my eternal soul, from soul's perspective, has never touched non-living material karma part. Yes, in modal state we have the relationship, but modal state is modal state is transient in nature. Compared to eternal soul substance, the modal state, even though is present, it's called untrue state that we talked in the previous slide. So that's what it is. Next one. These things that the soul is touching and bonding the matter particle is true from modal point of view, and that's called conventional point of view. Because two things, soul over here, I'm taking a soul over here, here the soul, and I'm taking matter particle, and I'm just saying that they are touching and bonding with each other. That means two things combined, and we are making it one. So that's why it's a conventional form. It's a Vyavar nahi. But over here it says, from absolute point of view, karma and soul relationship is non-true or bhutarth. So absolute point of view, they both are entirely separate. They have not done anything to each other. So that's a principle that we are obtaining from the very first thing that Acharya Bhagwan is telling us, and we learned that principle very well, that yes, soul substance, even though it is, even though it's a pure, from the substance point of view, soul is a pure. For attribute point of view, soul is a pure. Only in the modal state, I have an inclination of attachment and inclination of aversion occurring. So when I have inclination of attachment and aversion occurring from modal perspective, then the karma also has their own mode. Soul has its own mode. So soul's mode and karma mode, they show principal cause, auxiliary cause relationship. And so here is my rag and dvesh, inclination of attachment and aversion. And here is a material karma. And so when I have rag and dvesh, they get attracted to me, they get bonded with me. They are touching and bonding with me. So from modal point of view, it's right, but it's a modal point of view, which is called conventional point of view. And from absolute perspective, that's not true. So we do accept that yes, in the mode, there is a relationship between two modes, one mode of the soul and one mode of the karma. They both are reacting to each other. So that relationship is there. Relationship is it's existing. But when I'm looking from the eternal soul substance perspective, then this relationship becomes secondary in nature. In a blackboard, I'm drawing one line. I'm drawing one line. So line's existence with the chalk that I did that line, it is there. But now next to it, I put a big line. This is a small line I put it in, and in front of it, I put a big line. So automatically, this small line is called small compared to the big. Its importance is very minimal right now, even though its existence is there, but compared to the bigger line, this has no importance. You have $1 million in your pocket and I have $5 in my pocket. Compared to your $1 million, I'm a very, very poor guy. But that $5 with me will help me to buy the sandwich so I can fill my stomach. Your $1 million will not fill my stomach. So modal point is there. It is not denied, but it's made secondary compared to eternal soul substance. Why this principle? Because this principle differs the Jain philosophy from other Vedant philosophy right now. Vedant philosophy says that Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya means only in the whole universe there is one Paramatma is there, means the super soul is there, supreme soul is there, and that is only the thing in this universe. Jagat Mithya means everything else you see is delusion. This is an illusion. This is not true. This is not true. My glasses are not true. I'm not true. Sure. But I see them. They are not true. That's what they say. It's all illusion. Over here, Acharya Bhagwan says, no, 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 no. Everything is there. Material karma is there. Matter substance is there. Shirt is there. Physical body is there. House is there. Car is there. Everything is there. But when you talked about eternal soul substance, then they are alien object for me, and that means they are non-true state for me. So that's what it means. So that's what we have to think about. That's what we have to understand. So that's why the Jain philosophy becomes entirely different from the other philosophies. And closest that can come will be this Vedanta. So they just say eternal soul substance is eternal in nature, good, but it is spread through the whole universe, and that is only there forever, was never created, will never be destroyed. So we also say that soul substance is eternal in nature, was never created, will never be destroyed. So scripture that describes about eternal soul substance from Vedanta perspective, and scripture which describes soul as an independent entity, never been created, never been destroyed, from Jain perspective, those two scriptures will appear to be similar. And a friend of mine, he's deep into Bhagavad and everything, and when we discuss, and he says, oh, Bhagavad says the same thing, Bhagavad says the same thing. I never said to him that Jain says the same thing. No. Because you can catch from one reality, from one perspective, and say that you and me are same. No, that's not true. So that is very important to that point to note that how Jainism differs from other philosophy. I don't have to go and argue or try to convert somebody or anything. No, that's not my job. My job is that do I understand? And do I understand, and do I put it into practical application, trying to go toward the eternal soul substance? If I do that, that means I get samyak darshan. Whether somebody else gets it or not, I wish they all get it. But that's the same thing Mahavir said, that I wish everybody in the universe gets a liberation. And that was his great bhavana, great contemplation. And that's why he had bonded that Tirthankar Nam Karma. And that's why he was Tirthankar. So this is point number one, principle that we learn. Abhadhaspashta means non-bonded, non-touch. Means what? Bonded means karma particles are closely bonded to the soul. Touch means quasi-karma. Quasi-karma means no karma. This Sanskrit name is a no karma. The Prakrit name, I'm not Sanskrit, or the Magdi name, no karma. So touch means quasi-karma, like physical body and associative matter substances, they are called quasi-karma. So, Dhiratlal Pandit used to give very good example of this karma and no karma. I really like that his way of explaining. What he said, that two friends are there and they go for stealing something. So the one guy is actually going in the house and stealing the thing, and other guy is guarding the door to make sure that owner does not show up. So both are doing stealing act, but who is the principal person doing stealing? That means the person who is actually stealing the money from the house. And who is the other guy who is helping him? Helping him is called no karma. So karma and no karma. So they are defined that way. Very nice, easy example he gives so that we can understand very well. So same way, bonded is a karma and touch is a quasi karma, like physical body and associated material suffering. So soul is unbonded and untouched. Soul is not bonded with the material karma and not touched by physical body. So I'm not talking about my wealth and my money and my family and my respect in the society and this and that. Those are far, far away from me. Just simply the physical karma, physical material karma, which has a close association with me, closely associated with me, that they are unbonded with the soul. So soul is separate from them. Even though they appear to be together, they are separate. If you add water in the milk, milk and water appears to be same right now. But if you just do the process, proper process, boiling, etc., then water will get separated out, will come out of the milk, and milk will remain as milk. Same way, a soul and a karma are closely associated with that. How closely they are associated? Extremely closely. In the sense, I have attached, this physical body is attached to the soul. This physical body is attached to the soul. It came into existence 70 years back, and maybe God knows how many few more years left that they have that association, and there'll be dissociation will occur. So physical body and soul can associate and dissociate very easily, but when the so-called death occurs, means physical body gets separated from the soul. This soul, when it leaves this physical body remains over here. The soul lives. When the soul leaves the body, there are two things going along with the soul. One is a karman, karman sharir, and second is called tejas sharir. Means the karman sharir means karma particles attached to the soul, and the tejas sharir means the electric body. They both go along with the soul, and from here soul 1, 2 and 3 samay and takes birth somewhere else. At that time also transit time karma is there. So that way karma is closely associated, and they will only be gone when this soul becomes liberated soul in the future. So that's what we have to understand, that karma has an extreme close relationship. And so that's why when we just say, I have to learn karma theory, I have to learn 8 karma and everything, we have to learn that one. We have to understand their existence and everything. But then they are not part of me. That also is to be understood very well. So this is what it just says over here. Let's see what's the next slide coming. Okay, from bonded and touch perspective, mode is a conventional form. From bonded and touch perspective, soul is here in the modal form. Soul is here, karma over here, and they are bonded together. This is the modal perspective. So it is there. Soul and karma have principal cause, auxiliary cause relationship in either side. Means when I am making inclination of attachment within me as a principal cause, then karma as an auxiliary cause come to me. Or from karma perspective, this karma has to become mohonya karma right now, deluding karma right now. And this is the capacity of that karma particle by itself to become into deluding state next moment. And at that time, this soul is showing inclination of attachment. So this karma says, hey, is there anybody around having inclination of attachment? And soul says, hey, I can provide that thing to you. So soul becomes secondary, and karma at that time turning into deluding karma come and get into form of deluding karma with the soul. So they both act for each other, they both act principal cause auxiliary cause relationship. Now this is to be made secondary, because I'm the student of Samaysar. I'm the student who is looking for right faith. I'm the one who wants to go on the liberation pathway. So this relationship is there. I have to accept that relationship, but they are to be made secondary, because eternal soul substance is faith is primary event, and that is true, means that's a true one. That means it's called bhutarth. This thing, even though it is present, it is called secondary, and that's why it's called abhutarth. Modal state, even though it is present, it becomes secondary, and that's why it's non-true. So this is the difference between worlds. Any philosophy you take it, any philosophy. I'm not learned with all those philosophies, but Gurudev has given this kind of things. He has said that bring any philosophy to me, and I can tell you that Jain philosophy is on the top over here, because it gives proper understanding. It accepts the modal state. It doesn't reject the modal state, but it makes it secondary when we are talking primarily the eternal soul substance. So that's a crux of our first point over here. Let's see, is there point number 2 is coming. We'll take it next week. Any questions so far?
No, we are good.
Okay. All right. Okay. If not, then we'll do the closing. Okay.
Can I say something like this?
Yeah, go ahead.
Atma sada asangane kare prakruti man.
Barabar. See, very good. Atma sada
Asangane kare prakruti man.
So Atma remains asang. Asang means it's untouched by anybody. No relationship with anybody. And a Prakriti Bandh. So Atma is remaining asang over here. And Prakriti Bandh is occurring because of Prakriti means karma bondage. Karma bondage is occurring because of karma's own doing. They both are doing their own work. This Atma, this soul has shown the influence of attachment state. And this karma said, I want to become deluding karma right now. So both are independent event, and they both are occurring at the same time. That's why just because of this thing happened, or just because of this thing happened. That kind of understanding we carry forward all the time, because we see that one day in and day out. And so we just believe that way is happening. 8 o'clock morning, the school bus comes. 8 o'clock morning, the kid comes out of the house. So because the kid came out of the house, that's why bus came. Or because the bus came, kid came out of the house. No, they both are independent, but it's occurring at the same time. So it appears that kid comes out. That means it has to be 8 o'clock time and bus has to come. So that's what it, Atma sada asangne kare prakruti bandh. Yes, that's a real. So remember, from every scriptural thing that we can pick it up, there is going to be relationship. This kind of relationship will be seen. Very good, very good. Sanjay, that's very nice analogy you gave. Good. Okay. All right. If there's any other comment. All right. We'll do the closing. Aho upakara jinvarano kundano dvani divyano jina kunda dvani apya aho te guru kanano jina kunda dvani apya aho bhagavati matano javani ke gyan se suje lokalo Sovani mastaka namo sada deta hu 9 times namo kamantra. Jai Jinendra.
Which time become?
Yeah.